Hello and welcome to chapter 16 of our video. That's Mila. She just wanted to say hello to the world. Hello YouTube. Okay. Good night, baby. Sleep well.
I will.
Let's get started. Hoofstuk 16. Okay, making progress. A skim uit die verlede, a phantom from the past. Didn't see this coming when I read the book. Certainly didn't. I remember now Greg is waiting for an answer from Zander. He wants to get him to help in the search for the baker, and he sends him another message, and there's still no reply. Okay, and let me just get my pen here. And it's one afternoon after a gym session. He sees this is the phantom from the past, right? Links to the title of the chapter. Tom. I glanced over him in the first book. I didn't see him popping up again. He was the old states manager at Lawson College, remember? And he opened up some doors for them to do some hacking. And so he assisted Zander in his whole social manipulation thing of Greg. So he was also like a guy that was planted there by Zander to help him, to assist him in his whole plan. So they are friends. They're hacking buddies, right? Okay. What did I do here? Hy het Zander gehelp met sy sosiale manipulasie van Greg. Okay, that's the story. And he's got a t-shirt on of an anonymous activist hacking group. Let me just move this. With a white face, black moustache and eyes, and an evil smile. That becomes later relevant a little bit later in the chapter. Okay, so he sees that he has this shirt on, he recognizes him. And immediately Greg also wonders, well, surely then Zander is also close by. Okay, if his friend is there, then maybe Zander is here. Tom indicates to Greg that he must follow him. Volg is follow. And eventually, uiteindelik, they get to the NG Kerk, the NG Moederkerk, the Nederduits Gereformeerde Kerk, the NGK, the old, one of the three big sister churches, probably the biggest one in South Africa, the Afrikaans sister churches, with obviously a church with a rich history in South Africa. Okay, and inside the church, Tom starts to speak. Suddenly Greg wonders, he's disappeared, and then he speaks. He says, 500 mense is regop begrawe onder die kerk se vloer. And I think this is indeed a fact, that 500 people are buried upright underneath the church. And Zander says that Tom het hom gestuur. Okay, sorry, I take that back. Sorry, mistake. Zander het Tom gestuur. Okay, so Zander sent Tom to speak to Greg. Hy says Zander stel nie belang nie. He says Zander is not interested in helping Greg. Please leave him alone. Greg offers to pay. Okay, and Tom kind of is sarcastic. He says, you're just like your dad. He also wanted to just throw money at a problem. You're a typical rich boy, that sort of thing. And he says Zander actually has enough money. He's obviously quite a clever guy. He has a lot of Bitcoin. Maybe he invested early, like most of us wish we did, I think. So money is not going to change his mind, right? Okay, so Tom dring aan dat die finale antwoord nee is. He says the final answer, Greg, is no. And he says to Greg, dat 'n mens nie altyd alles kry wat jy wil hê nie. You don't always get what you want. You don't always get what you want. Okay, that's how the chapter ends. It heats up a bit. A rivier van dooie water, a river of dead water. We'll see the link to the title now. They found a body. There's the link in the water. Let's just start with the first bullet. Zander bly weer deur die bruin boekie. He goes through that brown book again. Remember, someone sent him that brown book with the word Valkyrie and some chemical formulas, and he pages through that thing again for answers. Hy is moedeloos omdat Zander hom nie wil help nie. He's discouraged that Zander doesn't want to help him. He sees 2 more words in the book. I don't understand why he wouldn't have seen it before. Like, surely you read page through the whole thing. The words Brody, Cantha, D3 or D8, you can't make it up, make it out, and then D3.az.oxen, looks like something. He's not sure what that is. Okay. As he's doing that, Plunk and Lisa suddenly bursts into his flat, and he really gets a big fright because he's obviously nervous. He's like, people are onto me, this web is closing down on me. And Plunk starts to, just like Greg ordered some food, I think he ordered some steak, and Plunk just starts to share his food and help himself to Greg's beer. And Lisa is also there, and she warns Greg that, Greg, you should lock your doors because they just walked in. Okay. Then Chloe is also there, okay, to add to the mess. And before Greg knew it, there was like a whole meal prepared out of the things in his kitchen, and they were eating and having fun. Then Lisa asks Greg if he's a hacker, a cyberkraker. Okay. Obviously, her dad would have told her this because the dad is the policeman, right? Okay. And she asks, and then Chloe asks him if he can hack into the campus security cameras. And Greg's like, yeah, you could do that. That's doable. That's easy enough. And because she wants to use the beeldmateriaal, the recordings, or what's the right word? The footage, right? The footage for an art project that she is doing. Then Greg tells everyone there. So he tells Chloe, Lisa, and Plunk that he is looking for the baker. I don't know how wise that is. Because now he kind of puts them in danger by doing that, okay, I think. Plunk obviously says, dude, are you absolutely out of your mind? Greg says he's doing it for the honor. Eer is the honor of his the honor of his family, right? So the truth can so the truth can come out. There we go. Die volgende oggend, next morning, Greg is walking to class. He sees by die Eerste Rivier brug, so that's the river, Eerste Rivier. He sees there's a dead body, okay, being fished out of the river there, or it's floating in the river. And on the t-shirt is that logo, that hackers logo that we read about in the previous chapter, okay. And obviously he sees Tom's face. He sees, I think his eyes were still open, and he's been murdered, okay. All right. So Greg's on his way to class. I find it quite interesting that he's still worried about coming late, and he rushes to his class, and it was a gruesome scene there, and he still makes it to class. Then there's an interesting thing that happens in the next chapter, nooddiens, emergency service. Okay, there's a new lecturer. A docent is a lecturer, not the usual guy. There's an older man, a grey man. He pick up Greg and asks him to stand up. Obviously saw that he came late and that he doesn't know what's going on. Lecturers like doing that, by the way. He asks Greg his opinion about PEDs, steroids, right? Opkikkers, performance enhancing drugs. And the question is around who should they ban it? Should some people use it? Should they ban some or ban all of them? He asks Greg's opinion. Greg gives his opinion. He says, almal moet toegelaat word. Everyone should be allowed to take PEDs if they want to. And then the lecturer embarrasses him and tells him to sit and that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Dane, who seems to know everything, that friend he made, well, not really a friend, but the guy who said you're one of us, the guy who gives him the Ritalin, said it was Professor Kabi from UJ. Okay. Interesting that this happens, because I think obviously the book is trying to build in layers of characters so that we can't make out who the baker is. It's hard for us to identify the baker. Okay. And then obviously in the end, it's someone that we don't really expect, but this could be one of them, right? Okay. Also, put yourself in Greg's shoes. He meets all these people. He doesn't know who he can trust. Even someone like Chloe. Okay. That could all be an act. Okay. Don't assume anything. Like Eckhart always said, don't assume anything. All right. He also tells Greg that Tom's tongue was cut out. Lovely. Die boodskap, so the message to Tom, or the message via Tom's murder, is to Greg: shut your mouth. Okay, keep quiet. We'll cut your tongue out. Okay, so now it's getting really like scary. Okay, I would be flipping scared if I was Greg now. Like, this guy just disappears. I mean, what's preventing Greg from getting murdered? Yeah, and chucked in the river. And he feels this web is stadig maar seker groter or tighter or closer or something. Okay, that's just my comment. It's like he's getting stuck in his own web that he's made. Then there's a video about Tom's body being fished out. Obviously a student or someone took it with their cell phones, and Greg sends Zander this video of Tom's body, and Greg thinks the message is meant for him, that he must keep quiet. Hy dink die boodskap is vir hom bedoel. I think he's right. Okay. Greg wonder op het Zander of die biker was wat verantwoordelik was vir die moord. So Greg, he's confused. He doesn't know what to think. He thinks Zander could have been the murderer of Tom. He could have been the one who sent him. It could have been the baker that murdered him. Who knows? Okay, we don't know who is verantwoordelik at this stage. Then, as if that's not a busy enough day, Greg's mom phones and tells him that a man met swart klere haar agtervolg. Agtervolg is to follow. Okay, a man in black clothing is following her. There's still no answer from Zander. And later, he sees on his screen that there are 6 new folders. Lash is a folder or file, 6 new files in his Dropbox. Okay, he gets a notification. What does he see inside? He's binne sien Greg foto's van sy ma wat daardie dag in die sentrum geneem is. She phoned him and said, someone's following me earlier that day. Later that day, Greg gets the photo. Again, dis nog 'n boodskap aan Greg om weg te bly. Dit lyk of die web om Greg gespin word. It looks like he's got no choice. Like, your mother's in danger, you are in danger. They've been in his flat, right? The message is very clear, and it has to be from the baker, right? It has to be that he must stay away. Hoofstuk 19, die ou met die hoodie, the guy with the hoodie. I'm going to give it away. It's finally the appearance of Eckhart. It's the appearance of Zander in chapter 19. Okay, took us a while to get there, but we got there. Greg's mother, Real Extra Sekuriteit, organizes extra security, and she only goes out when Andre is at home. Don't know how much of a protection he is. At this stage, he could even be the baker. We don't know. We just don't know. Greg doesn't know either. Zander wonder of sy ma en pa sal skei. She kind of wonders, okay, so dad's in jail, mom's got a new guy. Will they divorce, skei? And whether he wonders if his dad even knows about Andre yet. Interesting, Greg falls in with rugby practice every now and again, sort of just a casual detail. There's still nothing from Zander. He doesn't see the guy on the motorbike anymore, right? And then suddenly one day, Greg spots a guy with a hoodie. I don't know why, like the guy with the motorbike. Like if I see someone with a hoodie and walking in the mall or a day, I'm like immediately thinking this is a criminal. Maybe I'm stereotyping. I don't know. But if you want to blend in, man, don't wear a hoodie. Or a black leather jacket. It just stands out of the crowd, especially, I don't know, I suppose students walk with hoodies all the time. He sees this guy on the way to the Nielsen, is a place where a lot of students hang out and eat and so on. The guy looks like Zander when he had a beard. Okay, remember that's when he saw him the second time. After he disappeared the first time, when he saw him in Clarence, I think he had a beard. Ooh, I hope I'm right. Zander then realizes that he's been spotted, and there's quite a long description of how they run, and Greg pursues him, and he jumps over I don't think it's the route that he runs is important. It's just kind of interesting when you Google the places and on Google Maps, and you see how they ran. Okay, maybe I should have posted that, but it is kind of realistic. So the book is like written in that sense, where the details are pretty cool if you take the time to Google it. But anyway, I left it out. I don't think it's in any sense relevant to any exam question. And Zander's too quick for Greg. Interesting. I thought Greg was this fit gym guy, but Zander ends up faster and he loses him. Alright, hoofstuk 20. Sy naam in jou bek. Okay. Greg vra Plunk vir raad oor Zander. He asks Plunk advice about Zander. What should he do? Okay. What should he do? Plunk is like super chilled. He doesn't take Greg seriously. He gives him sarcastic answers and says to me, maybe you should just try drugs. Just chill out. Why are you so serious, boy? Chill, man. Like, we are students. Let's just be students. Hy vra Plunk of hy dink Zander dalk vir Tom vermoor het. But the reality is that people have already died. His mother's in danger. His dad is in danger, in jail, if the baker is that powerful. Okay. While they're talking, Greg does this. This is interesting. Okay, I would like ask a long question on this, like all the references to a spider's web, or in what sense is a spider's web a good metaphor in the story, or discuss it, or something along those lines. We'll talk about that right at the end. But as he's talking there to Zander, you know, when you drink a cold drink, it forms the mist out. What is it? Condensation outside the glass. He was drawing a spider's web in that. I'm trying to imagine how it would look, but there's not too much space. I mean, it must be a big beer glass. Anyway, it's a pretty cool detail. Okay. If you can remember that sort of thing, that's what they look for. Okay, so how much detail do you actually know? And you want to learn the details so they don't catch you out with stupid things, you know. But that's why you are following these videos. Okay. Plunk dink Greg se planne gaan platval. He thinks, listen, I really think all your plans are going to fail. All those beautiful little plans that you're making are going to fail. Gaan platval. It's going to fall flat. Daardie aand, that night, Greg takes the Ritalin that Dane gave him. So he's been keeping that thing. It's been in the back of his head. That's what happens with drugs. If you have it, you end up using it. Don't throw this stuff away. Laat daardie aand kry Greg 'n boodskap. Eventually, Mr. Hacker himself appears. Woensdagoggend 7:30 by die inligtingssentrum Markstraat, kry jou daar. Okay. Greg's immediately on it in terms of hacking, and he says, I can't track this thing. This message was sent from a gratis, is free, hey? A free web to SMS service, so you can't track that thing. It's in the cloud, I think. And Greg doesn't even know if it's from Zander. That's the thing. Like, this could be the baker. This could be a murderer waiting for me. Okay. So he's taking massive chances here. The guy's either very brave or very stupid, or a combination of both, or smarter than all of us. I'm not sure. So now, op pad terug. So Greg is walking back, and he's walking past the magistrate's court, right? Okay. And he hears Cape Afrikaans. Kaapse Afrikaans. It's different. You can see it in the book on that where it's written. I didn't get the page now, but it's, here we go. It's page 104. Okay. And just by the way, sorry, he's on his way to meet Zander, right? He got that message in the morning, and they count down the time in the book. He's about to go and meet Zander for the first time. So on his way, he passes the magistrate's court, and he hears Cape Afrikaans, and something bizarre happens. I had to read this twice to figure out what on earth is going on here. But there were voices coming from the holding cell. So in the magistrate's court, they have holding cells where they'll keep some people, okay, some criminals, okay, alleged criminals, and there were people shouting from inside the holding cells, and suddenly, and there was like a conversation going, but then suddenly Greg hears that someone is calling his name. He's calling him. Obviously, you can see him, okay? I can't quite picture the scene in my head. It was quite hard, but he's walking towards Markstraat, right? He passes the magistrate's court, and from the cells, these people are calling Greg, and the one guy says, who are you? And he says Greg says to him, who are you? The man in his cape-colored Afrikaans said, die man sê Greg is bekend omdat die baker baie van hom praat. He says, hey, you're famous. The baker talks about you. Baker always talks about you. Shocking, okay? And, oops. Hy waarsku Greg dat hy moet stil bly oor die baker, anders is sy pa in gevaar. He says, shut your mouth about the baker. Because as we suspected, remember, now your dad's in danger. So now his mom's in danger, his dad's in danger, Tom's dead. He had people on motorbikes following him. He had someone in his flat. This guy also says, hulle het oral kontakte in die tronke. They have contacts everywhere in the jails. So prisons have a way of communicating with each other. And they can put a hit on a guy in another prison. Like, it seems that is what's possible. Okay, so that was interesting. I think the biggest one in this video was Zander's reappearance, and yeah, and that they are about to meet. So we'll pick up where we left there. I hope it helps. Stick with it. Watch these videos again, please share them, and we'll chat soon.